I was at that parking lot across the street, and I had no idea that there was a graveyard here. And well, my channel is Fascinating Graveyard. So how about I do my job and show you guys a fascinating graveyard? You always know that when you see me wearing a hoodie, it's about that time of year where it's starting to get cold, and usually when that happens, I fly south for the winter, or at least drive. So I've been wanting to do more of these kinds of videos where I just kind of go to random cemeteries and graveyards and just kind of go back to basics of what I normally used to do. And there's some pretty old stones in this cemetery, so just gonna walk around. It's not a very big cemetery. There's an older part, there's a newer part, so just walk around, check some gravestones out. In memory of Hetty, consort of Samuel H. Daly and daughter of Robert and Rosanna Stewart, who departed this life December 1st, 1834, in the 33rd year of her age. These are kind of interesting because I ain't gonna lie, I've never seen a stone like this. It's almost like a table. And right over here, well, this one broke. So I can only imagine how much these weigh. These gotta weigh at least 500 pounds. And, I don't know if somebody came here and vandalized it or whatever, but you got a broken one over here. You also got a broken one over here too. In memory of the Reverend William Swan, who was removed by death on the 7th of November, 1827, in the 64th year of his age. He had preached the gospel faithful for 36 years to the people of Long Run and Sewickley, over whom he presided as pastor. Blessed are the dead who die in the Lord. This grave looks like it's pretty much propping up the one next to it. Anne Plummer, consort of T.P., died May 20th, 1815, in the 37th year of her, I'm assuming, life, because then the rest has been eroded and then broke. And I'm going to imagine that this was her daughter, Catherine Plummer, 18 years of age. And then this would be the father. So yeah, they all died young. Dad died at 43, mom at 37, daughter at 18. Wow. I've actually never seen this quite before. Looks like some people have gotten new markers on their stones. So somebody paid a few dollars to get these people some new. That's actually a pretty cool idea. I really like that. I mean, I don't think it takes away personally. I mean, some people will probably say that it takes away from the aesthetic beauty of old markers, but I mean, if nobody did this, then future people walking through this graveyard wouldn't know the names of some of these people. I mean, you could still read the names. This one's still somewhat clear, but this one is fading away, and in another 25, 30 years, you probably wouldn't be able to read that anymore. And of course this, I mean, it used to say something, and you can't even barely read it. Now, I know what a consort is. but I do not know what a relict is. So I could have looked it up online, but I don't know. What's the fun in that when you can just look at it and just kind of think, like, what the heck does that mean? But I'm imagining it means wife. I'll probably look it up after I'm done with this video. What caught my eye here is that everybody right here, father, mother, and son, they all died in the same year, but of course there's no exact death date on the stone, so I looked it up. And so the parents, they owned like some kind of a bed and breakfast in Franklin Township, and on January 24th, 1949, a fire erupted in that establishment, and these three people, they died in the fire, including a fourth man, Wallace Meyer. Fire investigators determined that the fire started, or at least originated, in a motor that was used to operate some compressors at a refrigeration plant, which I guess I'm assuming was on the same property, and the fire spread to it was either a bed and breakfast or what they called a hotel. This actually looks pretty cool. You got this family plot right here of the McIntyre family, and these trees just kind of growing up around it. Pretty cool. Buried two of his sons 8 months apart. Kind of curious as to how this moved. I don't know if some vandals tried to move it or what, because this thing probably weighs, 250, 300 pounds. So yeah, it would take several very, very strong people to make that straight again. Sally was only 18 years of age when she died on September 3rd, 1957. At the time, she was employed as a clerk, and says that she was driving down the highway and she went through a stop sign and was hit broadside by another vehicle. And in that accident, her cause of death would have been a skull fracture. And she's buried next to her mother and father, Bess and Lawrence Davis. George Slack was reported missing in action on March 9th, 1945, when the B-20, on which he was making his first combat mission as a radio gunner, was shot down over Tokyo. George Harold Slack, 23 years of age, has been declared killed in action, according to a War Department telegram received by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Leon Slack. George was a graduate from Norwin High School in 1941, and he worked at the Westinghouse Electric Company for 2 years before his entry into the service on February 5th, 1943. Okay, guys, that concludes the video. This is the newer part of the cemetery where I'm currently at right now. I wanted to focus more on the older side of the cemetery slash graveyard, and wasn't going to do too much of an in-depth video, but just kind of walked around for about an hour and a half. Okay, guys, well, I am out of here. I'm gonna go across the street and I'm gonna get a cup of coffee, warm up, and then we're gonna figure out where the heck I'm going next, because I have an appointment to take my van to the auto mechanic shop to get it worked on, and then we will figure out where I'm going. Still thinking about going to New Jersey, 350 miles away. However, there is a story that I want to do. One story, but of course, if I go out there, then, you know, I'll do several. So we'll see what I decide. I have no idea. Anyways, catch up with you on the next video. Peace out.